Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today with Nick Klein. He'll be fighting on the UFC Fight Night card on August 2nd. How's it going today?
Going great, man. Going awesome.
Yeah, sweet. So you got your nickname Blue Collar, and that's because you work construction, or not construction, you pour concrete.
Yeah, well, that's construction. Yeah, I've been in the building trades for around like 10 years. Was in the laborers union, just generally pouring concrete, a lot of decks, walls, and footings, stuff like that. But super grateful for like just all the skills and stuff that the time in the trades and stuff has taught me. And I was always wearing my high vis t-shirts into practice, and it would spark conversation. And yeah, just kind of the blue collar style, and the name started sticking to me.
Yeah. How are you balancing like working during camp? Because obviously you got multiple training sessions, recovery on top of a day of work.
Yeah. So in my early amateur career, it was really just a matter of going to work and then going to practice right after. I never really stopped. So a lot of times, you know, I'd get to work at 7 and I would get done around 3:30, and then I would bomb right to practice, and I'd be getting home around, you know, between 7 and 9 o'clock at night, depending on how many classes I would take. And I guess the early years were just a little bit rougher, man. But it was a little bit easier too, because I didn't have as many kids in the beginning and stuff.
All right.
But toward the end, like once I went pro, obviously you start getting paid and stuff as a professional, not a ton of money, but I was financially set up enough by the time I went pro that I was able to take off at least 4 weeks before my fight. So even when I'm not in fight camp, obviously I still have work by day and training by night, but that's the usual for MMA fighters, man. I mean, there's just not enough money in the sport for the majority of us to live off of it. But as of late, I've been, like I said, fortunate enough to be able to just kind of take off and focus solely on the camp.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how long do you picture yourself still doing?
Sticking in MMA?
No, doing construction while competing still.
Sure. I think I'm always going to stay with it. I just like the skills and the work ethic and stuff that I guess there's a lot of self-sufficiency taken from staying in construction. You know, and not only does it benefit you as a homeowner, but it's cool to just kind of be a fix-it man, to always be able to look at a problem and be able to solve it. It gives you good problem-solving skills, and just keeps me grounded to my regular way of life. So I think no matter what, it's something I'm always going to stick with.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? Like you're fighting for the belt and you're still working construction?
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. I'd have to wear the belt like on site, right?
It's like that. You've seen like the Volkanovski clip?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's literally no different than that, though. I mean, he did the same thing. He was doing concrete and stuff too while he was training and you know, knocking fights out. So I don't think we're cut from different cloth very much at all.
That's awesome. So I was talking to. He was my college teammate, but he's from Random Lake, where you're from. And he told me, I didn't know this, but you started wrestling your junior year of high school.
Yeah. And
you made it to state in your first year. And then
I made it to team state. I didn't make it to individual state. Yeah, okay. I didn't qualify my first year, but my team at the time was really good. And I did wrestle at the state duel for teams. Yeah.
But then your senior year, you take second at state. Your second year of wrestling.
Yeah, it was it was a fun ride, man, and it all happened at the snap of a fingers too. So since you know that, though, I have to give you the backstory.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, so I was a hard-nosed football player before I had ever wrestled, and we were a decent football team. I was a defensive end. We were lacking in wide receivers. My buddy Dakota is a little bit taller than me, a little bit longer and lankier, and he had really good hands. He was wrestling and he didn't play football, and I'm like, but he had played football the seasons prior, and I'm like, dude, you need to come back out. We really need you. You've got better hands than a lot of the other guys on the team. Like, you can catch the ball, you know? And he had been trying to convince me for some time before that to join wrestling, and I'm like, You know what people say about wrestling that don't actually wrestle, right? You know all the general slang terms that are thrown toward the sport, and I had that same opinion.
Yeah.
But he's like, I tell you what, I'll go out for wrestling. This was right as the junior year football season had ended. He said, I'll go out for football next year if you go out for wrestling this year. And I was like, deal. I went out for wrestling, and I'll never forget my first practice, dude. I tell everybody that. It was you could have combined half of the football practices that I'd ever attended in my life, and my first wrestling practice was harder than them all combined. I mean, it was just a whole new real world realization for me. But I immediately fell in love with just how difficult it was, you know, and fell in love with the workouts, just the physical exertion. And not only that, our team was just filled with guys who wanted to win bad. Yeah. So the wrestling room was super competitive. We would be fighting with each other on a day-to-day basis, and to the point where the coaches thought that we hated each other, but it wasn't like that at all. We were a super tight group of guys. Yeah. It was just that competitive in there, and that's why we had the success that we did.
That's how a lot of the best teams are.
Yeah.
So wrestling was your first combat sport.
Yeah.
That is insane, because you then 3 years later, you had your first amateur fight.
Yeah, that was 3 years.
3 years after.
I never looked at the actual dates.
3 years after graduating high school.
Yeah.
So, if you never would have went out for wrestling that year, would you have ever started to fight, you think?
You've seen plenty of college football players and NFL guys kind of switch over to the sport. So I think football still gave me that same competitive mindset.
Yeah.
But I think wrestling certainly built the foundation for the house that MMA rests on for me. You know, it's something I can always fall back to. Yeah. Something that I use when I feel the most vulnerable in a fight or against anybody that I might be training against. It set the table for me to be good at fighting.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I wouldn't have eventually figured it all out, had I just played football and then later went on to, maybe join an MMA gym or whatever. But I think the big thing was I got so hungry for wrestling, and my ride in it was so short, and I wasn't going to go to college. At the same time, I still have this hunger to compete, and jiu-jitsu gyms were around, and I was like, I guess it's kind of similar, you know, and went in and tried my first class, and I've never stopped training since.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is going to be your second fight in the UFC.
Yep.
Obviously, you had big moments in your first one. What lessons are you going to take from your debut fight into this one?
I think really just believing that I belong there. So, coming off Contenders and stuff, it was obviously a super fun ride there, and I almost couldn't believe I did what I did. But I guess I was still kind of left with this question of am I some fraud who doesn't even belong in the UFC or something? These are all just the I guess the demons in the back of a fighter's head, right?
Yeah.
That sliver of doubt, and my debut fight, I didn't get a ton of time to train. And there was just a little bit more doubt in my mind, and I think even coming off of a loss in that fight, I proved to myself that I belong out there, and I just feel way more confident this time around, and I know everything. There's no unknowns other than the actual fight. I know how fight week's gonna go. I know how, I know what the staff's gonna call on me for during fight week. I've been in the Apex before. I've fought there before, so everything is very familiar for me. I think just having the knowledge of already going through one UFC fight week kind of breaks in all of those nerves for me. And I've already been there. I've already taken care of that. Now it's just the fight I got to worry about. Yeah.
So your opponent, I'm going to see if I can get his name right. Polev? You probably have no idea either.
I don't know.
So he's 6'4", 78-inch reach. How do you plan to deal with his height, his length, and implement your own game plan?
I guess the way I've been thinking about it is just that, the taller and more drawn out you are, I think the weaker your limbs might be. And I consider myself a pretty strong guy, so obviously I'd like to get a hold of them, but me and my team have kind of been working on our own kind of step-by-step process on how to deal with everything that he brings to the table, and I feel pretty confident in what we've kind of set the table for. So, but he obviously is going to present his own set of challenges with his height and his reach. Closing the distance on him is going to be a little bit different. Maybe trying to pick him up off the ground is going to be a little more difficult. He's got longer legs. He's got a longer torso. But I can say I would rather have an opponent be way taller than me than way shorter than me.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Honestly, I mean, fighting's different than wrestling, but in wrestling, I always hated wrestling guys that were taller than me.
Sure. I just feel like the legs are a little easier to get to.
Yeah.
You know, trying to take down a guy like DC is a little tough. You know, or there's another guy.
That's true.
Yeah, another guy in my division, Torres Finney. He's like 5'8". And he's just, you know, he's as wide.
He was on Contender Series.
Yeah, like 3 times.
Yeah.
But he's as wide as a Hummer truck too, man. I mean, trying to take him down, it's got to be a pain in the ass.
How does that dude even had
to get underneath him?
Thought this was crazy. 4 of your 6 wins are by first round finish, under a minute in the first round.
Yeah.
Do you go out there like game plan, like just go right after a finish right away?
That's
or,
always,
like, you just want to get out there and scrap?
I mean, if that elbow would have knocked out Mansoor, that would have been like another. You know what I mean? It's what's his name? Terrence McKinney.
Yeah.
He posted a video the other day, and it resonated with me a lot. He's like, I show up, black out, and wake up with my hand raised, and I was like, that's pretty true for me too. I don't really, especially in the first round, any of my pro wins that have gone past the second and like into the third round, you really settle in, right? You get over that dump of adrenaline, and you really just come to terms with like, I'm in a fight here. This guy's not going away easy. Like Colin Huckbody, I fought for quite a while. Tristan Overvig was another one I went to decision with. Both tough guys. But with them, like I'd kind of fell off the adrenaline dump and then just kind of coasted into like an actual, like, we're gonna fight with this guy for a while. But that first couple minutes, man, it's been pretty cynical for me. It seems like I have a good success rate there. So
it's entertaining.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, the shorter and sweeter it is, the better. You know, and who doesn't want to go out there and get a first round finish? That's everybody's goal. You know, the quicker you can get in and get out unscathed is the best way to go about it. So
that kind of goes into my next question. If you got to choose exactly how you won this fight, like down to a T, how would you want it done?
I go out there, I take him down, I beat the shit out of him and submit him or TKO him. Yeah, one or the other, or I knock him out before I even take him down. That's the goal. I mean, my film tells you that. I want something, you know, get you out of there right away.
Give me like a roadmap of like, because obviously this is your second fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
You have a little ways to go.
Yeah.
What is like the roadmap for where you want to be in like 5 years?
As far as fighting or just life or?
Both.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, right now, I really just want to prove to myself that I can win in the UFC, right? So we got to get past Andre first. And after that, I mean, there's a couple names I'd like to call out. But as far as like a 5-year plan, man, I want to make enough money that fighting was worth it for me, right? You know, there's a lot of guys who donate a lot of their time and a lot of their health, and they look back and they got nothing but a hurting body and head and nothing to show for, you know? So more important to me than winning a title or being some top-ranked contender or something is being able to grow things off of the money from fighting that are going to last me the rest of my life. You know, I've seen champions have all burned out too, you know, put the money in a stupid spot and then they're, you know, in their mid 40s and 50s with not a ton to show for, doing social media content or something just so they can pay their bills because they don't have nothing else.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think some people in my management agency are getting into this already too, but I think real estate's a great thing to put that money toward, you know, rather than going and buying a new car. I'll keep driving my shitty car, man, but let's say I get a bonus off this fight, I'm going to try and finance a duplex or two off of that, you know. So that's my biggest goal with fighting. And as far as that goes too, man, I just want to keep going on being a better dad and family man and making sure that I give my kids a fun childhood to remember, making sure that I was there for them.
That's awesome. So this final question. Final message to both the fans and your opponent for August 2nd.
Oh, man. Final message to my opponent. I might have to think about that for a second. To Andre Pulayev, I'll say train hard. I'm bringing a good fight, and I hope you bring one for me. And to the fans, man, I just want to thank everybody for their support. And, yeah, man, it's been a fun ride, and hopefully I can give you guys the show you all deserve.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, not a problem.
And
man.
good luck on August 2nd.
Awesome. Thank you, boss.
Yes, sir.